Hi, this is Aaron Marshall with Ratio Christi here at UNC Wilmington. A question that's always asked is, what is faith? Now let me start by saying this. Josh McDowell, who is one of the most well-known Christian apologists really of all time, has this to say about faith. He says that faith is one of the biggest heresies that's going around in the Christian church today. Now what could he mean if he's an Orthodox believer, which I certainly believe that he is? What could he mean when he says that faith is one of the biggest heresies that's going around in the church today? I think what he's saying, and I've heard him say as much, is that it's not faith in and of itself that defines us as Christians. Because you can have faith in faith, or you can have faith in the wrong thing. Because it's the object of our faith that defines us as Christians, and it is what separates us from Christians as other people. So we aren't to have faith in faith as Christians. We are to have faith in Jesus Christ. So it's the object of our faith that really matters. So then the question becomes, well then what does it mean to have faith in Jesus Christ? Because many secularists will tell you that what faith is believing in things we don't have evidence for. And when I use the word faith, certain things come to mind, maybe even for believers, such as blind faith or leap of faith. I would submit to you that's not at all what we mean as Christians, or at least the Orthodox understanding of what faith is. Hebrews 11:1 defines faith as this. Faith is the substance, the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you see, the writer of Hebrews uses evidence in defining what faith is. Many people, and Christians included, think that faith and evidence are almost contradictory. That what I'm called to do is have great faith in Jesus, but the faith is in spite of the evidence. Now, if that's the case, let's say this is a scale of 0 to 100, this being the most faith I could have. If this is a great thing to have, which it is, faith, then on this view of what faith is, the more evidence I have then would seem to squeeze out my faith. So on this view, if I had evidence for why I believe what I believe, there would be less room for faith. So then on that view, evidence would be bad. But I would submit to you that cannot be what faith means. Why? Because think about it. If that's what faith means, what would be the best case for a believer? The best case would be that there is zero evidence for Christianity being true at all. Because if there's zero evidence, now I can have room for 100% faith. But what would even be better than that? What would be better than that is, not only is there zero evidence that it's true, but there's good evidence that it isn't true. Maybe we found the bones of Jesus or something like that. So then I could have not only no evidence that it is true, but positive evidence that it isn't true, which means I could just have even more faith. But this couldn't be what faith means biblically. Paul says as much in 1 Corinthians 15. He says, if Christ has not been raised from the dead, then we're above all people to be most pitied. So what he's saying is the evidence that Christ rose from the dead, it's what gives us the assurance of what we can have faith in Jesus. So what is faith? I would submit to you, faith is better defined in sort of modern terms as trust, an active trust. And in order to have trust, what do I need to know if I should trust someone or something? I need evidence. So I would submit to you it's much like this. When I first met my wife, I thought she would be a good bride. I thought she would be a good wife. And the more I got to know her, the more evidence there was that she would be a good bride. But it wasn't just this intellectual knowledge that I had that said she's going to be a good bride. Sooner or later, I had to ask her to marry me, and we had to walk down the aisle. I would submit to you that is a better understanding of what biblical faith is. It's active trust in the one who's proved himself trustworthy time and time again. Another example could be this. If I want to take a plane trip to New York, okay? I show up at the airport. They tell me to go to gate 18 because that's where my plane is leaving from. I see good evidence that I'm headed toward gate 18. When I get to gate 18, the overhead says going to New York. The ticket agent says I'm going to New York. All the evidence seems to tell me that I'm going to New York. But if I actually want to get to New York, what do I have to do? I have to get on the plane. We would submit that is what active trust is. That is more what faith is. It's the evidence that leads us to believe it's true, but now I'm putting my faith in actually getting on the plane and going to New York. So as Christians, we have put our faith, our trust in Jesus. We are resting our souls on the one who's proved himself trustworthy time and time again. But it's not in spite of the evidence that I believe that I have faith in Jesus Christ. It's because of the evidence. And I think that's a better understanding of what faith is. Remember, at Ratio Christi here at UNC Wilmington, we always want to ask good questions, but let's seek good answers. This is Aaron Marshall with Ratio Christi at UNC Wilmington.